Yes, I already had my teeth cleaned and I've baked 2 pans of brownies.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. That is great to hear. Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Berryman, your host for today's Conversation for Humanity uh, live stream call. Welcome, everyone, to our Bringing Humanity Together live stream. This is one of the three open forums under the Bringing Humanity Together umbrella where people can discuss topics related to the workplace, humanity, and the workplace in a very positive and constructive way. We want to know what the issues that are out there that are facing people today because it is our goal to both work with employers and employees to bring humanity back into the workforce. And remember, as always, we'll be going live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all at 3 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, except for Conversations for Humanity, which is always every Wednesday because we have a meet and greet for 2:45 to 3 o'clock, and then the call starts at 3. And remember, Tuesday is hosted by none other, as you see here, Sandy Chernoff with Sharon Care with Sandy. I host Conversations for Humanity every Wednesday. And on Thursday, Carla Finnegan hosts Humanity Happy Hour. And as you jump on, feel free to comment in the chat where you're watching us on, whether it be on LinkedIn Live, YouTube, or on our Twitter or our business Facebook page, and we would love to have that great and engaging conversation with you. And also, if you have any show topics or questions or concerns about any conversation that we've had, please reach out to one of us, and we would like to have that great and engaging conversation with you. And also, if you're watching this on the replay, please use the hashtag replay. And again, let us know where you're watching from and share this with your family, friends, and colleagues at your organization, and we'd like to also have that great and engaging conversation with them too as well. So, hello, Sandy. How are you doing today?
Good. Everything's going well. It's not quite as hot here.
Well,
And
that's good.
the last 2 days have been cooler. It's supposed to get warmer again tomorrow, but we're supposed to have rain on Friday and a little bit on Saturday and on Sunday. So I'm happy about that, Chris, because it's cooling things off and it's helping the
Nice.
firefighters. So, that'll be good. And besides, it's better when we go upstairs to go to bed that the temperatures are in the 70s rather than in the 90s.
Wow.
So the
That's
last few nights
amazing.
it's been in the 70s, so that's a little bit more comfortable to, you know, I mean, even with the fan on, I can, we can sleep, but it's a lot easier to cool the room down when it's starting at 73 or 74 or 72 than when it's starting at 88 or 95.
Wow.
And I was
That's
talking to some other
amazing.
people today who also have lost their air conditioners, and none of us can get an air conditioner.
Oh, my word. You kidding me?
No, there just are none to be found. I had the same problem, Chris, when my washing machine died. It died last November. I didn't get a washing machine till 2 months ago. I mean,
Wow.
just there are no appliances in town, and it has to do with COVID and deliveries and what's going on in the factories where they're producing these things and so on. And it's really hard to get any sort of appliance.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah, so
That
it's
is
it's
just
kind of
unheard
scary.
of.
Like the air conditioner that I have is a water cooled one. I think there
Yeah.
are some of the air cooled ones that go outside, but that's way more complicated for me because I'm in a townhouse complex and I can't put it close to a neighbor on either side because if they can
Right.
hear it, they'll complain to the strata and the strata will make me take it out. In addition, if you put one outside, they have to drill a hole in the foundation of your house in order to be able to put the piping in so that it can access the all the venting and whatever so that it can go through your house. And I'm not too keen on having them drill something in my foundation either. So
Oh,
I
I
didn't,
I would say no to that too. I'll be like,
yeah,
no.
no. So I just figured that we'd go with what we have, which is a water cooled one in my crawl space,
Right?
but you just can't get them. So, that's why we bought the fans.
Yeah.
And they work pretty well. They're really big. I mean, the one we've got in our bedroom, it's also one that cleans the air.
Right.
So, but it's huge, Chris. It's like this high. I'm not kidding you. It's huge.
Wow. And that's a Dyson one, isn't it?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they are really good. And so we have a huge one in our bedroom, and we have a medium-sized one in our den, which is where we read and watch TV and whatever. And when I had company for dinner on Friday night, we put it in the dining room because it was like, I don't know, 85 in the dining room or something. So we figured, yeah, well, if we're going to eat dinner, we better cool. So we brought the fan into the dining room and plugged it in and aimed it at the table.
Wow.
Well, the den's next to the dining room, so it wasn't hard to move. But yeah, the air conditioning works much better. That's why, I kind of wish we had it, but there's not much I can do right now because you just can't get the machines. On top of which, the companies have raised the prices of all the machines because you can't get them. And so they're
Right.
really expensive. Like when we had it originally put in, which was like 17 years ago, I think the whole thing, the machine and the installation and everything was about between $4,000 and $5,000. Now, my guy told me that it would cost about $12,000. So I said, I don't think so. We're not doing that. It's a ridiculous amount of money. And he said, yeah, well, they've all raised their prices. And I said, okay, well, wait till the winter and then check around. And if we can find something in the winter, Dom, you can come and take the old one away and install the new one. So he said, okay,
Right.
we'll bear that in mind.
Right. Right. So how was your birthday bash yesterday?
Oh, the restaurant was really good, Chris. I actually had even though it's a seafood restaurant, I had a hamburger. It was like this thick. I'm not kidding. I had to cut it in half and, whatever. And it had lettuce and tomato and onions and, and they had a whole basket. It was like this big a basket of curly French fries that were really crisp. They were so good.
Oh,
I shared them with
nice.
the other girls, and Bonnie had a fish taco, and Eileen Joe had spaghetti, but it had prawns and vegetables, and And then what they did, Chris, because they knew it was our birthday, they comped desserts for us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good. That
So
was
Bonnie and
awesome.
Eileen Joe had a chocolate mousse with something on it, but I can't eat that because I'm lactose intolerant. Because the guy said, "Has anybody got allergies?" I go, "Yep, me, no lactose." He went, "Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to figure something out for you." So they brought me a raspberry sorbet, which was very good.
Oh,
So
nice.
we had a very nice lunch. It was fun as usual. I mean, we always have fun. I told you, these three girls, we've known each other since we were young, really young. And so it's kind of fun to do this. We've been doing it for years. The very first time we did it, we went to a spa in the interior of BC. We went up there for a week. We got massages and we, did some other things. And another time, about 3 or 4 years ago, we rented a suite in one of the nice hotels downtown. And we spent 3 days downtown. We went to fly over Canada and we went out for lunch and we went out for dinner and we went shopping and we did some other things. It was really funny. And Yale kept phoning me. Oh, I see you had so and so for lunch, because
Right.
he gets all the credit card bills.
Wow. Well, I'm just
So it's
glad
just
you had a good birthday lunch and everything, and it was good to catch up with your friends and everything, and that means a lot, I'm sure,
it
to be
does.
able to have an outing like that and be able to take
Well, and
some
see, all
time.
three of us have had both vaccines. So, even though we social distance at the table, which we could, um, Eileen Joe picked up Bonnie first, and then she came and got me, and then we went out because it's in a southern suburb where we went. It's right on the Fraser River, and so we ate in a restaurant that was right above the river. It was very nice. And I mean, there's tons of restaurants out there. Yale and I just sometimes go out there on the weekend and we go for a walk and then we go and just, check out all the restaurants and decide where we're going to eat. And and we noticed it yesterday too. The fishers come in there, Chris, and you can buy fresh fish right off the boat.
Oh, nice.
So we could see that there was a setup. And Eileen just said, "Oh, I should go down there and get some fresh fish."
That is nice. I do like some fish. My favorite fish, if I had to pick one out, which I can eat a lot of different fish, but if I had to pick one, I actually love an actual good bass.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
so
Well,
bass is good.
we'll see
And
here. we get salmon, we get halibut, we get bassa, we get tilapia, we get we get all kinds of fish here, and it's really wonderful because there's just a huge variety, and they also get prawns and crab, and they get it all, and you can buy it all out in Steveston because the fishers come into the dock there and they just dock their boats, and then they set up a little thing right off the boat, and a lot of people go down and just buy fresh stuff right off the boats. So it's really cool. I mean, there's fish stores to buy it out of too, but it's really nice
Right.
to get it right off the boat.
Right. Yeah. But when it comes to an actual other seafood kind of thing that's really good for you, I love king crab. Crab
Yeah.
is, oh my gosh, I love king crab. But when I was younger though, when I was probably about I think 12 or so, yeah, I think it was 12, and my dad was still working at Red Lobster at the time. He actually was there on his day off, and he took me out to lunch, and I ate a whole dozen, and this is unusual for me at the time. I ate a whole dozen of raw oysters, and I just did them like what they told me to do. Put a little Tabasco on it, chuck it,
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh man. But
yeah.
I never ate any since. But like I said, I've had that before, and like I said, that was pretty good. But like I said, my favorite, like I said, my two favorite seafoods, like I said, if I had to pick them out, will be king crab and like I said, bass, and those two I'll just.
Well, and you see, you can get oysters and clams here too.
Oh,
So
nice.
there's a lot. There's just lots of fresh seafood in the Lower Mainland because we're right on the ocean, and so
Yeah.
it's really easy. And Yale and I eat a lot of fish. Like that's what we're having for dinner tonight, because on Friday night I made salmon, and I made a piece that was, I'm not kidding you, Chris, it was like this big. I'm not kidding. So even though
Right.
there were five of us for dinner, but my niece doesn't eat fish, so I made her a Beyond Burger. And but Yale and I have had two other meals since then, and we're going to have the third meal. So I mean, because my sister-in-law and my daughter and Yale and I all had helpings of fish for Friday night, but it was just such a big piece of fish that and I buy that at Costco.
Yeah. So
So
what we talked about yesterday, Sandy, and I want to get your thoughts on it before everyone else jumps on, is we talked about forgiveness, and especially when it comes to a leadership dynamic, and of course maybe even personal one as well. How do you view forgiveness in your life and what you've done?
well, I think it's very important. I mean, sometimes, people do things because they're thoughtless and they don't think about what the outcome is. And I think what you have to do is just say that you may not realize, but what you just said is very insulting to me. And I'd really appreciate it if you didn't do that again. And, just because some people just don't realize, Chris, that they've done something that's insulting to someone because it depends on your culture or your religion or, whatever. And a lot of people are just ignorant about a lot of those things. And so I always tell people that, it's good to learn about different cultures and it's good to have diversity in your workplace, but you have to recognize that you could disrespect someone by doing or saying something that's inappropriate from their perspective, and you wouldn't know. And that's why you've got to watch the body language, because if they're looking very uncomfortable, you've got to say, oh, I am so sorry. What did I just do that made you so uncomfortable? Please tell me so that I don't do it again. And then, they can tell you, oh, I'm so sorry. I will make sure that I never do that again. Thank you so much for telling me what it was. And, then they'll probably forgive you. And especially if you never do it again. But I think people need to be honest. I mean, they need to tell people, because otherwise they don't know, Chris. They don't realize that they've stepped on your foot. It's just a matter of letting them know. It's just like, that bank manager that I told him, you got to look at the women. And, I said, I know that's not intuitive to most men, but I said, it's something you got to start doing. look at them when you do something. And if they look uncomfortable, or if their stature makes them look uncomfortable, say, I'm really sorry. What did I just say that obviously made you so uncomfortable? Please tell me so that I don't do it again. And he said he just never done that before. And I said, well, most men don't pay attention to that. I said, it's something that women generally pay attention to, but not all women. But it's something that if you want to improve the situation with your female tellers, this is something you're going to have to do. But it's true in any situation, Chris, because again, like especially where I live, we have people literally from all over the world here. I'm not kidding you. And it's wonderful in a lot of ways because we have every kind of restaurant you could imagine. There are wonderful festivals that are celebrated here and all kinds of interesting entertainment that comes because of the different cultures. And so it gives you an opportunity to learn all kinds of things. It's so super. I mean, it just really is. But again, if you're working with some of these different people, you need to know what is going to offend them so that you don't do it. Or if you do it, then ask them, what did I do? I'm so sorry. Please tell me so that I don't do it again. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if you handle it in that way and you're very sincere about being sorry that you offended them, I think they will forgive you. And just make sure that, again, you don't do it another time. So it's just a matter of paying attention. And a lot of people don't pay attention. Listen, we can't know everything about everyone's culture and religion. I mean, that's just not possible. And so we could, without knowing, offend someone or disrespect them in some way just because we didn't know. But once we find out what we did that was wrong, then we have to pay attention and not do it again. And I think if you do that, the person will forgive you and you'll be fine with them. I mean, it's just also, I worked with one of the big construction companies in town, and they were building houses and also commercial complexes in different areas of the city where different people live. So like if you're building for East Indian people or you're building for Asian people, you better know what they expect in their house, because otherwise they're not going to buy. So it's really good to have somebody on your team from that community so that you can find out what's appropriate and what they look for in a house. And in that way, you'll be building the right kinds of houses with the right rooms and the right type of kitchen and so on and so forth, so that they'll come in and go, wow, this is exactly what I want. Yes, and they'll buy it. But if you don't have...
I would have never thought of that.
Well, but it's so true here, Carla, because, Asians want to have, they like to have their special kind of kitchen, and they only basically cook with woks, and stuff like that. They do use ovens for things, but an oven isn't a big thing in a Chinese kitchen. And, with East Indians also, it's different kinds of stuff. And it's a matter of understanding what they're looking for and what kind of rooms they like to have in their house for the things that they like to do. So, you got to build for them if that's the neighborhood that you're building in. Otherwise you're wasting your time and you won't sell the homes. Wow. So it's really good to have people on your team who can give you the right ideas as to what their community would be looking for in a home, or even in a retail store or a restaurant or whatever. If that's what you're building, you better build it to suit them or you're not going to sell it. No one's going to rent it, whatever. So it's very important to, pay attention to these things. And a lot of people don't. They just open their mouth and stick their foot in it, and then they don't do anything about it. Well, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. It's understandable that sometimes we make mistakes because we can't know everything. But if we see that they're very upset, you've got to say, oh my God, I am so sorry. What did I just say or do that made you so upset? Please tell me so that I don't repeat it. They'll forgive you if you make an effort like that. And you'll feel better because you learned why you're a stupid idiot. So, it's just a matter of figuring out some of these things. Well, if we don't know, we don't know. Yeah. But, I think I told you I was doing some workshops at this big cement factory because a lot of these guys are just, completely insensitive. And apparently they were having some big trouble because, again, diversity in the workplace. And with some of these big guys, I mean, they were kicking each other. And I mean, I couldn't believe what they told me they were doing. I said, how old are you? I mean, it was just ridiculous. And I said, that's not what you do. What you need to do is stop and ask them what you just did that offended them so much so that you don't do it again. So I think I told you this really big guy, he was like 6'7" or something. He stood up and said, you're taking away my freedom of speech. I can say what I want. I said, I'm sorry, no, you can't.
I haven't heard that story.
Oh, and
Wow.
you know, and you know how I'm short, you guys. I'm 5'2". So you know,
Yeah.
he's towering over me and yelling down at me. I said, "Excuse me, please don't kill the messenger.
Excuse me.
The leadership of your company is aware of some of the things that are going on. I am just bringing you information. So don't yell at me." So anyway,
Yeah.
at the end of the workshop, he came up and apologized to me. But the HR manager told me that this guy doesn't think. He just opens his mouth and spews.
The
And I said,
blabbermouth.
listen, if you're with a group of people and you're all on the same page and you want to talk about those kinds of things, you can talk about those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But I said, if you have other people sitting there and you can see that they're very uncomfortable because of what you're saying and doing, you have to stop. You have to ask them what is making them so uncomfortable so that you don't do that if they're around. If they're not around,
Yeah.
fine. But if they're there, I'm sorry. It's not about freedom of speech. It's about respecting your coworkers. And
Or
there's a
you
big
also
difference.
say there are some conversations you don't take to work.
That's right. Exactly, Carla. So it's just a matter of, you know, what the heck are you doing? And why are you being so mean to other people? And especially when you can see they're friggin' uncomfortable. It's not a matter of freedom of speech. It's a matter of being respectful to the people that you work with. And by doing those kinds of things, I'm sorry, that's not respectful. It's not appropriate and it shouldn't be done. So, you know, I think that forgiveness is very important in terms of how do we deal with the people that we're working with. And I think that we should be trying very hard to get along. So we have to respect them. And if we just stepped on their toe, we need to know what on earth it was that made them feel so bad, because we don't want to do that. It's not what we want to do. We want to get along with the people that we work with. So we need to understand them better. And again, it's an opportunity to learn. You know, let's learn a little bit about their culture or their religion or whatever it is that made them so uncomfortable because we didn't know, because we're a big ignoramus. So now let's learn something about it because it doesn't hurt. And I think that it's a great opportunity to start paying attention to some of these things, especially if you live in a city or a town where there are lots of different kinds of people. And it's just so true here in Vancouver. We have one of the most diverse communities in the world here. We literally have, like, I got my teeth cleaned this morning, okay? So I went to my dentist. He wasn't there. He was on holiday, okay? And I had a hygienist I'd never had before. Lovely young woman, okay? So she told me her name, and I said, what kind of a name is that? She said, oh, I'm from Kenya. And I said, really? I've been to Kenya. She said, you have? What did you do there? I said, we went on safari. So we had a little discussion about Kenya for a few minutes. And, you know, I mean, it was a very unusual name that I'd never heard before. And that's why I asked her where she was from. But, you know, I mean, that's another typical example. And it's just a matter of, so what? You know, I didn't care. She actually did her hygiene training in Toronto.
Wow.
Did you give her an A+ on her cleaning?
She did a pretty good job. Not a perfect job, Carla, but, you know, I'm not the one to be commenting on that. The dentist is the one to be commenting. She hasn't been practicing very long.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I told her that I used to teach in a dental hygiene program. She said, you did? Where? So I told her, oh, I know that school. I said, yeah, the people who own the school that you went to in Toronto own the one that she said, you're right, they do. I said, yeah, I know. We knew the owners were from Toronto.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a
Well,
small
you know, a
world.
lot of people got to realize that just because you have the right to say something doesn't mean that you should say it.
Exactly, Carla. That's exactly right. It's not a matter of taking away someone's freedom of speech. It's a matter of being respectful and being nice to the people that you work with. And I think that, again, it's an opportunity to learn something about their culture or their religion and understand that, you know, this isn't something that you say or do because it's very offensive to this group of people. So don't do it when you're around them. If you want to do it with your, you know, Christian friends or, you know, other people who don't care, that's fine.
Right.
But when you're with these people, I'm sorry, it's not what you do. It's just not right.
Well, I got to thinking after yesterday's call, and it was really deep yesterday between me, Carla, and Lisa. The more I'm hearing it from you ladies again today, forgiveness, I see it also is like what we shared yesterday is about being a gift and everything. Um, I truly believe now, the more I'm hearing it constantly now, um, we should be really, really open to the fact that if we allow things to be there in a good, respectful place, uh, and I just really want to piggyback off of what you said, Sandy. Respect goes a long way.
Hmm.
It does. And maybe the act of forgiveness shows maybe even some respect.
For sure.
And we didn't think about that yesterday when we were talking, but now the more I think about it, respect is it's also intertwined with forgiveness.
Hmm.
I mean, what's your
But you
take
got
on
to
that?
say you're sorry, Chris. I mean, you say something that's really offensive to someone, and you can look at them and see they're very upset. Well, just stop. I mean it, literally stop and say, I am so sorry. What on earth did I just say that upset you? I can see that you're very upset. Please tell me what I said that upset you so that I don't do it again. Because, it's ignorance. We don't know that some of these things are very offensive to certain cultures or religions or whatever. We wouldn't know. And so, again, opportunity to learn and pay attention. But if you don't watch the person and see that they're upset, you'll miss the opportunity to ask for forgiveness and to learn that this is something you don't say to them. It's just, it's a matter of paying attention. And a lot of people don't. They just, open their mouth and insert their feet. And they
Yeah.
don't look at how they're being perceived by others. And it's very important to pay attention to how you are being perceived by the people around you, by what you say and do. And if everybody's looking uncomfortable, then you are really in trouble. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to be respectful of people as human beings,
Hmm.
and polite to people and respectful of them. And if you care about people as people, if you do something offensive, then you should be able to easily say, what did I do to upset you?
Please tell me.
Hmm.
Please tell me so that I won't do it again, because I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. I had no idea that it was going to upset you. Please tell me what it is so that I don't repeat it. Because again, it's out of ignorance. It usually isn't done on purpose, although there are some people that do it on purpose. Okay, there are. But I think for most of us,
Yeah.
we don't do it on purpose. We do it because we're ignorant. So again, this is an opportunity to learn. This is something you don't say or do. I mean, for the people that do it on purpose and just to see the reaction, they need they should be slapped. But
They
anyway,
need to go live.
we're not going there. But there
Yeah.
are people like that. There
Yeah.
are. They do it anyway. Just like that guy that got mad at me because I told you, the HR manager told me he just opens his mouth and inserts his feet. He doesn't care. I said, well, I'm sorry. That's
Do
not
you
a
think
way
he
to
got
be.
mad at you because he knew that he was being pointed out because everybody else knew exactly who they were talking about?
Probably, Carla. And that's why he got mad at me. And that's why I told him not to kill the messenger.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing you information because your leadership feels that this is something that needs to be looked at in here because there have been a lot of complaints.
Yeah.
And then so he started yelling at me, you're taking away my freedom of speech, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to bring this to your attention. And again, don't kill the messenger.
Yeah. There's certain things you just don't do in the workplace. Certain things
Exactly.
you don't say in the workplace.
No.
I don't care where you're working.
Well, I'm sorry. It's just not appropriate to be mean and disrespectful to the people that you work with. There's no point in it because all that's going to happen is it's going to make everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's nothing to be gained.
No, absolutely. You're right, Carla. Absolutely nothing to be gained. So what we have to be, like Chris said, we need to be respectful of everyone. So we need to be nice to them. We need to be respectful. We need to be supportive. We need to be helpful, whatever we can do so that everybody's getting along and everybody's having a nice time at work. Because if we can set that as the atmosphere, whatever, it's going to be so much better because when people are uncomfortable and unhappy, they make more mistakes. So there's going to be more trouble. So you don't want to do that to people. I mean, it's just so awful. I'm sorry. There's just no point in it. So except for some of these people that do it on purpose. And there are people who do that. They just do it to see if they can get a rise out of somebody. I'm sorry. That's just never been the way I like to deal with anything. But there are people like that.
Yeah.
And if I had an employee like that and talked to them about it several times and they refuse to change their behavior, I'm sorry, they'd be gone.
Yeah.
It's just, we don't need these kind of people in the workplace. It's just not appropriate. And it certainly doesn't help the culture. It's,
Well, see, ladies, I will go back to this what I've said many times in previous live stream past. Where's the golden rule of business?
Amen.
Exactly, Chris.
And if you do the right thing and respect somebody's point of view, their perspective on something, whatever that might be, if at least you can be at least respectful enough of them, of where they're coming from, then when something does go wrong, I think the act of forgiveness and the gift of forgiveness will be so much easier, not only for you, but also for them, whichever way that it falls. It's like John C. Maxwell. We actually played a little bit of a clip yesterday on yesterday's call. He said it doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on, at least if you're willing to be the forgiver or to be or to be giving the forgiveness out. It comes to a point of even transformation to a certain degree, and I believe because see, if we allow things to naturally be for what they are, I truly believe again, a gift is a gift no matter where it comes from, whether it be forgiveness, whether it be respect, whether it be understanding, because everything is interconnected to everything else.
Well, and the thing is, Chris, it's why I like Brian on these calls. I don't always agree with him.
Where are you today? We would love to have you here.
I love him on the calls. Why? I don't always agree with him. Okay. And I'll be very honest about that. But he's entitled to his perspective. And sometimes it just makes me stop and go, oh, I never thought of it from that perspective. Isn't that interesting? Like it makes you stop and think. And again, I don't always agree with him, but that doesn't matter. He's entitled to his perspective. It has to do with the experiences he has had. And that's the reason why he has some of those opinions. And he's certainly entitled to them based on his experience. So, it's always good to hear because you might run into someone like Brian who's coming from those places. And then you'll go, oh, yeah, I remember Brian said that, whatever. It's fine.
Sometimes you'll run into people and you're having a conversation and they might be not as polite as Brian is in his point of view. And they'll really go off the handle. And it's like, help me, telling you are a flaming idiot. You don't understand. And, just really. And it's almost like a form of forgiveness that you have to even just say, help me understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, exactly. They are
be flying off the handle at you like that when you're having a simple conversation. Mm-hmm. But say, okay, I hear what you're saying. Help me understand where you're coming from with your thinking. And then to me, in some respects, it's not only de-escalating the situation, but it's also saying, let's open up a dialogue about this in a constructive manner and forgiving them for just blowing you off, and blowing you out of the water with them, because some people do that
Yeah.
because they're maybe so opinionated about it, or you
Well,
just don't
people
have to
people can have their opinions, Carla. I mean, I belong to a book club, and all the women in this book club are pretty smart and very opinionated. And so our discussions when we go over the books are very lively. I mean, they really are. And a lot of times, people will just say, "Well, I don't agree with you." Okay, well, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me, but that's what I took from this. And it's kind of interesting. Sometimes people say, "I didn't like the book." Okay, fine. That's also okay. You're entitled to not like the book,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's just, we're always respectful and polite to each other. But we know that people have different opinions. And to be frank, when you're having a book club discussion on a book, people are entitled to have their opinion, what they took away from it, even if it isn't what you took away. And sometimes you go, really? I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Huh. You know, and so they're always very interesting. I hate missing my book club. I mean, I just hate missing it because it's always so entertaining.
You all aren't doing it virtual?
We are doing it virtual now. We do it
Okay.
on Zoom now. But until, the pandemic, we used to meet. We would take turns at different people's houses.
But it's
And
not
we
the
usually
same.
just sit around the dining room table.
Yeah.
But now we do it on Zoom, yeah,
Yeah.
because we can't meet. But we did have our closing
But
book
at
club.
least you've got plan B,
Mhm. Well, this year, though, because we usually have a closing potluck dinner, and we actually had one this year, but we had it in somebody's backyard. So it was kind of fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was. It was fun. Oh, who is this?
All right.
Massachusetts. I'm not answering this.
Well, look who's here.
Hello, Tyson.
Wow.
How are
It's been a
you?
long time since we've seen you. How are you?
Pretty good. There's been a lot of stuff that's going on. As
Did you get
you can
glasses?
see, oh no, I've had glasses. I just decided to wear them more.
Well, we're glad to have you join us today, Tyson. How you been doing, though?
Oh, geez. Living life to the fullest. Doing pretty much everything I want.
That's all you can do, man. That's all you can do.
Well, I mean, the cool thing is I'm slowly getting into streaming and gaming on Twitch. So I got my massive PC set up. I got my little space area, my camera, my mic, and all that. So, which actually, how do I sound? How do I sound now? Now that I'm not on my phone all the time.
Well, we're glad to see you. It's been too long, and we're just glad to have you a part of this conversation. What we've been talking about for today's and also this week's theme is about forgiveness. What does forgiveness mean and look like to you, especially in the workplace, Tyson?
Well, forgiveness, to me, I would being understanding and not taking what people say to heart, and just realizing that there are people who I just woke up like an hour ago, so I apologize.
No worries.
This life of a youngster.
Sleeping. Well, I mean, I work night shift, so I'm usually awake during this time. That's also why I haven't been here.
That's okay, Tyson. You're entitled.
I'm not trying to look to me, but okay. Yeah, being understanding and knowing that sometimes you God, no, never mind. Thought went out the door. The joys of ADHD.
So let me ask you this then, Tyson. On the like, I know you worked at a warehouse job.
I've worked a few, yeah.
Yeah. Has forgiveness was readily seen and heard, especially in that warehouse that you worked at? Was that something that you saw a lot on the day to day?
At a few of my jobs, yeah. There was one in particular where I don't like to talk about. But I've had a few jobs where everyone's been kind, forgiving, and understanding towards each other. So, and those jobs are the jobs that people tend to have more fun at and want to go in more.
For sure.
I mean, that's what I'm doing. I just switched temp agencies because one of them wasn't taking care of their workers good enough. So I went to one that offered me better insurance and stuff like that. So better incentives, better insurance. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go with them.
So what is your perspective, Tyson, when it comes to a leadership dynamic to where a leader can actually forgive people in the organization? Maybe,
Um,
maybe what does that look like to you from a leadership
well,
perspective?
it's obviously can't be someone who is spending their time micromanaging everything. Um, it's got to be done by someone with a clear level head who's not subjective towards each person. Um,
Who treats people equally?
yes, that I was looking for the words for that. Um, Also, someone who knows the job extremely well. That's actually very true. Doing the right thing is the right thing to do, including when it's wrong. Um, that's pretty much all I got on that.
Yeah, this actually is one of our great quotes, and I truly believe if you do the right thing, that it is the right thing to do, and you can't go wrong with right. And especially when it comes to the act of forgiveness, even what Carla said yesterday, even the simple act of forgiveness is also a gift of forgiveness, and a gift is something that should be cherished. And I truly believe, Tyson, that respect and forgiveness are intertwined and interconnected. Do you agree?
Yeah, I fully agree with that because otherwise, without the uh, the respect portion in the job, you won't keep any of your workers. Because I've been at one where the managers and the higher ups don't respect anyone on the team. A couple
Mm-hmm.
months later, everyone disappears.
And they can't
Managers,
figure out why.
yeah, managers are like, "Why are we revolving door company? Why can't we keep anyone?"
Sorry.
And
That's right up Danny's alley.
It's
it's just
just
looking at those people and like, why? I mean, you are so thick-headed, you cannot see why you are losing all your people.
well, usually, Tyson, they can't. That's the reason why they behave the way they do. They have no idea what
Oh
the
yeah,
outcome is from their behavior. And
They
that's
think,
why they're
oh, this is the way I'm going to get $1 million. This is the way I'm going to get rich from this. No, it's not.
no,
You're nothing without
absolutely
your
not.
workers.
But they don't get it. They absolutely don't get it. That's why they continue to behave in that way.
Yeah.
I worked for a guy like that. Not fun.
Well, it
I worked
is.
for a couple.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, I left, Tyson. I mean, it wasn't fun. And so did a lot of other people. And he didn't get it. He could not figure out why people, he even told me, he said, you can't do that. I said, watch me. And I walked out.
Yeah.
Well,
I've said that a couple times.
I mean,
We all
it's
have.
just, they honestly don't get it. They honestly do not get it. And that's the reason why they continue the same behavior. And as we've discussed before, you can't make adults do something they don't want to do. So if they don't understand that they're doing something ridiculous, we can't help them to change. If somebody realizes they have a problem, that's a whole different ballgame. Then they can seek some help. And we can point out to them that this behavior is not helping them. And that's the reason why people are leaving, because you disrespect them, you make them uncomfortable, and so they don't want to be here. But if they don't realize that and don't think they have a problem, then there's nothing we can do. Nothing.
And then you get those people who are so thick-headed that they don't even understand that.
That's
and they'll
true.
just go on continuing to do it.
Exactly. So, it takes somebody who steps back and goes, oh my God,
Yeah, it takes an eye-opener to realize if you're doing the wrong thing, but in your head it's the right reason, and it's affecting everyone around you. So sometimes people will take a step back and be like, whoa, what the hell am I doing here?
How can you say you're doing the wrong thing for the right reason?
There are people who
That
think
makes
that,
absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Oh no, I've met so many people.
That's
who
like
have
saying
that
the
mentality.
ends justify the means.
Yeah, I've met people with that mentality, and it's toxic.
That's the right word, Tyson. It's definitely toxic.
Oh, it is, because I've had to cut off a few people from my life who were exactly like that. And more recently than ever, I've had to do that. And it's frustrating. It's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be.
Absolutely.
And just watching people who think like that,
it's astounding.
It's astounding, and then you start to notice it in other people. So you notice it in one person, cut them off, and then you start becoming self-aware of it, and then you can point people out for their wrongs. If they change, they'll change. There are people who won't change.
That's right, and we can't make them.
I mean, there were some people who did the same thing in high school that I was friends with. I thought they changed a few years later. Nope, still doing the same crap.
Yeah. In some ways, they haven't grown up. It's part of what the problem is.
And then they get pissy when they called a child because they sit on their ass all day, not getting a job or doing anything like that.
Well, here you are working your tail off, making the ends meet, and succeeding. And people, don't want to have you succeed because it makes them look bad.
By my 25th birthday, that's in 4 years, I have a plan with my roommates that I moved in with that we will never have to work again. So by the time I'm 25, I'm going to be sitting on my ass working at home, rolling in money. I got a plan with my roommates. There's going to be 6 of us going out, buying some land, building it up. Everything's going to be solar powered. We're going to have our own little farm. We're basically going to turn into sovereign citizens, basically. Because I'm sorry, I know you try not to get political with this, but the country's going to shit, and we just want to get away from everything, get away from the big cities and all that. So
It's not just the
okay to
states,
wanna
Dyson.
contain
world's a
yourself
mess.
in your own little world. That's a good thing. It's like I'm in my lane.
oh yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking out for
we're
me. I'm
basically
looking
going
out
to
for my
become sovereign
family.
citizens, and I'm not going to say where we're going to get our money from, but it's going to be in a legal way. I can say that.
Well, that's good to know.
I'm
Thank
not going
God
to become
for
a
that.
hitman.
I'm
I'm not
glad
going
you
to
let
become.
everybody in the world know that on our live stream here, Ty.
Okay, don't worry. It's all going to be a legal process.
It's all on the up and up. I promise. Yeah.
No, when we go out there, there's going to be 6 of us. 3 of us are going to be over the age of 21. So we're all going to be growing marijuana plants and selling them out in California.
Hey, take the demand to whomever, you know.
Well, see, here's the thing. It's almost like 1,300. I want to say either 1,300 or 13,000. No, 1,300 per pound out in California, and plus my uncle's a manager at a dispensary in California. So right there, instant hookup.
There you go. There you go.
And
makes that business plan easy.
Oh yeah, no. Each person over the age of 21 is allowed 6 marijuana plants, and is allowed to sell up to 3 pounds from each plant. So that's almost 20 pounds right there from one person. So get everyone who's over 21 their own plants, start growing that, and then sell to whoever. Yeah, with everything that we've planned, we're never going to work again. And it's
So you know,
awesome.
Tyson, it's legal in Canada too.
Kind of don't want to travel that far.
No, but I'm just telling you, it is.
Yeah.
All right. I'll consider
Our
it.
prime minister made it so a couple of years ago, and there's some very big marijuana farms that are doing very well.
Oh, all right. I mean, it's also California as well.
You
so.
need CBD farms. You need marijuana farms to make CBD oil and CBD products. So.
Yep.
And plus, we may also hire some other people to come help and trim our stuff. So that way, all we gotta do is just go collect the money, come back, game, and relax.
Buy more plants.
Actually, no, we're only about 6. But either way, we got a plan, and we're gonna see it through.
Good.
So
sounds excellent.
And you can just wave at all those high school friends or people. I don't
know. I'm not going to wave at them. I'm going to extend a certain finger.
Yeah. Let them laugh.
No, I'm not going to wave at them. I'm just gonna sit there with extend one finger at them. That's all I'm going to do.
Let your success speak for itself.
Yeah, just do that because of course, everyone grew up with, oh, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to be anyone. I'm like, I'm going to be rolling in money and no one's going to know where the hell I am.
You know,
yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good.
There are so many people out there that believe that they've been told for years and years and years they're not going to amount to anything. And sure enough, they're holding up to that because that's what expectation they put on themselves.
Yep.
And between the sentences of their ears. They're not like you and saying, I'm going to make something of my life.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so much other things to do instead of just sitting on your rear. You might as well get paid for it. I mean, I'm sitting here in front of my computer most of the time, so might as well get paid from it.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Right. There's so many different things than just the traditional 9 to 5 or 12-hour shift.
Yeah, and that's what people don't understand.
No.
There's so many other jobs people could be doing.
Yeah, they think, oh, well, that's too easy.
Well,
okay, you go ahead and work hard.
Everyone's going towards warehouse right now because warehouse is the biggest paying jobs right now. over here at the Gigafactory for Tesla, where they're actually about to start manufacturing the semi trucks, people are making almost like $20 to $25 an hour over there. And
Wow.
that's it's anywhere from like $15 to $25 at all the warehouses out here.
Yeah, that's what they're like in Georgia too.
Yeah.
And I mean, out here, this is a warehouse type area, but people don't realize there's still stuff. There's stuff like DoorDash, Postmates. There's still the fast food companies, like the Pizza Hut around the corner from my house. They only open after 4 p.m. because they have so little staff.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I mean, like, there's people who can do that. There's people who can go fixing electronics. That's what I'm getting into. I got like a 100-piece precision toolkit to fix computers, Xboxes, TVs, all that kind of stuff. And I'm still getting paid from it. I'm playing games. I'm gonna start getting paid from it. So I won't really need the work. That's my plan, is to find something that I love to do
Right.
that's not that hard, but brings me joy doing it, and brings other people joy to do it. That's also why I'm getting back into DJing. So
And see, Tyson, that's the thing that we as people can do, is literally chart our own course and chart our own destiny and say, this is what I will do. This is what I've been called to do in some respects. And once we allow that to naturally occur in our lives in that way and say, hey, I am going to do X, X, and X, that's what I'm been called to do. And then if you not only love what you do, then it becomes no work anymore. It becomes a
oh yeah,
passion. And I commend you for that, Tyson. I truly do. That you found something that you can say, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do." You not
oh
only
yeah,
will you stick with it, you can say, "Hey, maybe I can. If I can show others to do the very same thing, maybe it becomes community driven and it becomes a purpose. It becomes a call, just like what we're doing here at Bringing Humanity Together." I truly believe once you get more people involved, many hands make light work.
oh
And,
yeah,
and it becomes so much easier as a community.
Hmm.
yeah, and uh, that's one of the things I like doing. Like I've said before, I love helping out other people. I love showing people new things. Like because I'm a techie, I find out little hidden secrets of about electronics. Like I can find hidden secrets about computers, even phones, laptops, all that stuff. I find all those little secrets and show people who are like, "Whoa, what the heck? I've never noticed that." And I'm like, "Well, because you haven't looked at it." And with gaming is that's a whole nother side of me, because I rage at games. I break stuff. I almost broke my TV. But I'm one of those ragers. But I'm people find it funny to watch, so that's why I've been recording videos and putting them out. So
I think
Right.
people need to learn how to work smarter and not necessarily harder.
well, for me, because of my autism, my brain automatically does that,
Right.
and I always look and try to find the best way to go through a situation, no matter what it is. If it's fixing something, if it's working in a warehouse, fixing a car, whatever, my brain automatically goes to how can I do the same thing but make it easier and make it faster to do. That's literally all. That's how I think half the time.
You think in efficiency.
Yeah,
Yes.
and speed, because If I don't think in speed, my brain will look at my body like, why haven't you caught up? Because my brain will literally go like 20,000 miles an hour, and my body's just sitting there. What?
Yep. Yep. And for me at least, the more and more I really think about it, everything that we do in this life not only has a purpose, but it serves a I truly believe in one way, shape, or form it even can serve even a higher purpose if we allow it to be so. And if it can touch someone's life that you don't even know who they even are, but yet you can literally touch their life with a very simple act that you do. And again, that goes right back to forgiveness. The simple act of forgiveness can go a long way. And it's like what Lisa said yesterday about the article that she uh, uh, saw on this, and it really touched her heart. And see, that's the thing that we can do is we can literally say and do something that can have truly a positive reinforcing effect to somebody we don't even know. And that really can send shockwaves through the world to say, hey, if Sandy can do it and Carla can do it and Tyson can do it, I can do it. And that speaks to the gift again of who we are as human beings, that we can not only give something, but we can accept something in return, and we don't even have to say, hey, if I'm going to give something to Carla, I'm going to expect something back from Carla, when to me that's not what it's supposed to be about. It's about the act of giving that down the line is going to come back to you tenfold or a hundredfold.
And giving without expectation of getting anything in return.
Yep. Spot on, Carla. Spot
Giving
on.
to give to and not giving to get.
So what? Why do you think then, Carla, that we're in that kind of? If I give something, I have to get something back in return. Why do we have that kind of mindset, especially in business today? Why do we do that?
You mean like the tit for tat? Like I'll scratch your back if you scratch my back?
Right. Right.
That's a very good question because I get that a lot in what I do. And I don't play that game. It's not like I'll buy your product if you buy my product. I don't play that. You're either interested in what I have to offer and I can offer a service to you. And if you're not interested in it, that's fine. I don't do that tip for tat because to me, that's not a true relationship. It's not, it'd be like Sandy saying, hey, I'll buy parts of your health and wellness program if you'll buy my book. Well, maybe I've already read your book, or I don't care about soft skills. That's not never true, but just, as an example, there's this tit for tat that, if you'll buy from me, I'll buy for you. And it's like, well, do you even like their hair care products? Well, no, not really. Well, why are you doing it? Well, I'm doing it to help them out. And I'm going, so you buy one thing. Are you going to continue buying from them? Probably not. I said, you're not really helping them at all.
Yeah.
It's that tit for tat type thing. I just don't believe in it. I don't know. And people that keep score at work, like, oh, I did this for you, then you need to do this for me. And it's like, I'll be grateful if you help me out with somebody, and I'll help you out whenever the needs arise. I'd rather help people out because I know that they have a need, not that I feel like, oh, I need to keep score. I need to even up the score,
Right.
I don't know why people do that.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that, Carla. Is why do we even keep score? Why do we do that?
My
There's lots of
friends
people
say,
that do,
well,
Chris.
let me pay for lunch, or you pay for this and you pay for that, or whatever. And I said, if I have to squabble over a lunch with you, then we don't need to be doing lunch together. This is ridiculous, Or, you paid this much and I'm going to pay this much. I said, it's not about that. It's not that scorekeeping thing. I
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
So you know what we did yesterday, Chris? We just got separate bills.
Pay for your own lunch.
Yep.
There you go.
See,
Well, I
when
went
we
to
used
lunch
to,
with a girlfriend of mine today, and she told the lady separate checks. I said, "Oh no, I'm getting a check because it's her birthday."
okay. Well, it was all of
Oh,
our birthdays, though, Carla. So,
Yeah,
and normally what we used to do, and what we even did it last year, we went to 3 patio restaurants. And so the first time we went, because I'm always the first, because my birthday is first. So Eileen, Joe, and Bonnie picked up the tab. And then the next time it was Bonnie's birthday. So Eileen, Joe, and I picked up the tab.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
the third time it was Eileen Joe's birthday. So Bonnie and I picked up the tab.
yeah.
So, but this year we decided we were just going once. So I said, when the waiter went away, I said, well, I guess we should just, get separate bills. They said, yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
that's what we did.
Yeah,
So, but before we did it differently. So whoever's birthday it was didn't pay.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But this time we decided we were just going to go out once. So we
Did
just
you have a
split
good
the
time?
bill. Yeah. Oh, it was
that's
fun. We went to the food was delicious. And the waiter we had was lovely. He was just such a nice guy. And
That makes all the difference when you have a good server.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they comped desserts for us, Carla, because they
Nice.
knew it was our birthday. So before he did it, he said, just a minute, before I go do that, he said, do any of you have allergies? And I said, yeah, I'm lactose intolerant. Oh, okay, never mind. I'll see what I can find for you. So Bonnie and Eileen Joe split a chocolate mousse with some other stuff in it. And he brought me raspberry sorbet. So that was fine. That I can eat. But I couldn't have eaten the mousse because it's got
Oh, that's
whipped cream and, whatever else in it. So because I can't have dairy. So
Right.
he said, thanks for telling me. I said, well, thanks for asking.
Which that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
It was a good
Yeah.
question.
Okay.
But yeah, and he bought, Bonnie got, what did she get? I think she got a Diet Pepsi. And he brought her a refill.
For dessert or to drink?
No, just while she was drinking, because she drank the whole thing. It was a glass.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
telling you, it was this
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
And she drank it, and so he brought her a refill. And he said, I'm not bringing you another one, but you can have this refill.
Yeah,
was
Sandy
just-
even told me before we started the call that her hamburger was like this thick. It was like huge.
It was enormous. And Bonnie got fish tacos, and Eileen Joe had some spaghetti dish that had prawns and vegetables and all
Oh,
kinds
wow.
of stuff in it. She couldn't even finish it. It was in a bowl. It was huge. It was a huge bowl. And what came with mine was a whole basket full of really crispy, curly French fries. And they were delicious. They
I
were
love
so
curly
good. So I
Yeah.
shared them with the other girls so
Yeah.
they could try them too.
And
And
and,
it was just
we got to say hello to my great friend Jairus. Hello, Jairus. How are you doing today?
Well, hey, Chris.
Hey, Jairus.
Yeah, Jairus, we got to get you on one of these calls, man. It's been far too long since we talked to you last.
Yeah, I was just reading a post that he had done.
Oh, Jairus, yeah, Jairus
Yep.
is great people.
Yeah, he is.
Great people. We got to
Great
have
guy.
you on one of the calls, Jairus. You got to hit me up. I'll send you an invite, man.
I think he's one of the first few people that I connected with on LinkedIn, and it was just such a pleasure.
cool.
Cool.
Yeah, Jairus is great people. So I think the time is right to
The time has arrived.
wrap up the call and find out what would be the call. Yes, we will definitely catch up with you, Darius. Yes, we must catch up soon. Absolutely, man. We will. Um, so, what would be your call to action, Carla, of how do we become not only better forgivers, but become even better leaders from the point of forgiveness?
Be respectful of people and be aware of how you present yourself to people. And
Sandy?
You got to pay attention, Chris.
if you
If you're
pay
not paying
attention to what you're
attention,
doing,
you miss the opportunities.
you'll
I
be
mean,
less likely to have to ask for forgiveness.
well, but I think that, if you have disrespected someone and you can see that they're uncomfortable, then you need to, you know, you need to apologize and say, what did I do? I can see you're very uncomfortable. Please tell me what I said or did that made you feel that way so that I don't do it again because I feel really bad. And, that way you've asked for forgiveness and you have shown that you made a mistake and didn't realize it. And so you want to know what it is so that you don't repeat the mistake. I think that the person would certainly forgive you and thank you for paying attention and seeing that they were uncomfortable and asking what it was so that you don't repeat it. And again, it's another opportunity to learn about something that matters to another person. And again, when you work with people, you need to be respectful. You need to be nice. And if we cross the line, we need to find out what we did and not do it again. So that's why we need to ask them what we did and say, we're sorry, and please tell me so that I don't repeat it because I feel really badly that I made you so uncomfortable. It's just a matter of, what are we doing? You want to have a nice time with the people that you work with. And if you're disrespectful and you don't pay attention to those things, that's not going to happen. It's just not. So we have to pay attention and see if we do something wrong. I mean, it doesn't mean that you do or that you will, but if you do, you need to pay attention to it and ask what it was and then make a note of it somewhere up here so you pay attention and you don't do it again. That's all. And I think if you do that, the person will appreciate it. They will forgive you and you will be able to maintain a nice relationship with them.
Yep.
It's just a matter of what are you doing? And people who don't pay attention to those things and are very disrespectful to the people that they work with, just like that guy in the cement factory. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just not appropriate. It's not about freedom of speech. It's about being respectful and kind to the people with whom you work. And if you can do that, the atmosphere will be much nicer and everybody will just get along better. How hard is that? It doesn't have to be hard. You just have to be aware. That's all.
Yep.
So have
And,
awareness. That's a good call to
Yeah.
action.
Exactly.
and it comes back down to this quote, which we all here at Bringing Humanity Together love. Doing the right thing is the right thing to do. You can't go wrong with right.
Absolutely, Chris. I love the comment. I love this quote.
How about you,
And
Tyson? What's your call to action?
Mine, I would have to say, get out there and change. No, get out there and make someone smile. Because over here on the West Coast, we're blanketed in smoke right now.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, from two fires in California that are so close to the border.
Only two.
Um,
We've got over 300 here in BC.
oh, well, yeah,
wow.
with these, they are. Um, it's a hard time because people with asthma who can't go out and breathe, basically. I mean, it sucks for me and my roommates because we all have a health condition and we all love to go out and skateboard. And we love to go out and meet new people. And if someone's having a bad night or having a bad day, hang out with them, make them smile,
Mm-hmm.
tell them a few jokes, maybe go grab a beer together. So,
What about you, Chris?
Well, I will go right back to that quote. Doing the right thing is the right thing to do. You can't go wrong with right. I just believe in just doing the right thing. And if we can be able to not only forgive others, but also be willing to be forgiven for something that uh, we may have done to somebody else. This is like what John C. Maxwell yesterday said on that Minute with Maxwell on YouTube. It doesn't matter which side of the equation you are on. If you're on the forgiver side or you're going to be on the forgiven side. as long as you're willing to take both of them and take stock in both of them, then you become not only a better person for it, but also there can be a transformational piece that comes out of that. And again, I think that's truly powerful, that transformation can come out of forgiveness. And it
Mhm.
truly can. So, like I said, my call to action is just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Because, like I said, you can't go wrong with right.
Yep, that
Fair
says it
enough.
all.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Yep. Very, very simple. So, as always, Sandy and Carla, I greatly appreciate you joining these calls each and every single day. That we have these calls. And Tyson, we definitely got to get caught up with you, man. It's been far too long. Jairus, same thing with you. We would love to have that great and engaging conversation with you as well. Thank you all for joining us today for Conversation for Humanity. Tomorrow we will have, of course, Carla with the AKA 19th hole, which is Humanity Happy Hour. And what will be on tap do you think will be great conversational piece tomorrow, Carla?
More talk about forgiveness.
More
Okay.
forgiveness.
I'm not sure I'm going to be there. I'm supposed to golf with my daughters, but it's going to depend on the weather. So I'll have to
As
see
long
if
as
it's,
it's cool.
Well,
As long as it's
hopefully we
cool.
don't see you because you get to golf with your daughter.
yeah. Well, if it's cool enough, I'll go, but I don't golf when it's too hot because I've already had one of those heat stroke episodes and I don't want another
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah, those are not good.
no,
Yeah.
they're not, Tyson.
Yeah.
So if it's cool enough, I will golf with her. If
Well, I
not,
hope you get to golf with
Well,
her.
she's on
either
her
way,
own.
enjoy the day, Sandy. Enjoy the day
Okay.
either way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys take care. Have a nice evening.
See
Yeah,
you guys
Always
soon.
good
absolutely.
to
Have a good
see you.
day, everyone.
And it
Have a
was very
wonderful
nice to
Bye.
see you,
Wednesday.
Tyson. Don't be
It was
so.
good to see y'all too.
Yeah, don't stay away so long.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm usually working, so I'm usually asleep by this time. So,
Okay, fair enough. We understand.
Yes, we
I'll
understand. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.